Just let me adjust my camera here, people, because we are not in the usual position again tonight. There's a reason for that. 1 second. Okay. Hello. Hello out there. We're on the air. We're in the office position tonight. As you can see, we're in the swivel chair where all the stuff happens, as it were. All the videos get made. Now, I can't see how many people are in here at the moment because I haven't got my comments thing open on my laptop, but I will have shortly. So hello if you're out there watching me. Nikki's looking at me a bit weird there. It's because most of the stuff we're going to be doing this time is going to be based around what's on the laptop screen. So I wanted the camera facing this way as opposed to the other way. So let me just open my live stream here. There you go. You probably see me there talking to myself currently. But the important thing is I can now see your comments, which is a good thing. So hello, everybody. First things first, let's deal with this week's filming locations and the guess where I am. Now, the guess where I am, I didn't do one this week. It's not that I forgot. It's just I never got a chance to do it. So I will make sure there is one at some point, in some place next week, so that you can have somewhere to guess. As far as this week's locations go, it's London week. It's London week. This weekend we will be in London and we will be making this epic London special, the 10,000 subscriber special. We're not far away from 10,000 subs now, by the way. We are almost there. The last count was 9785 it was. So yeah, we're just shy of 200, just over 200 away from making it to 10,000. So yeah, I'm quite excited about that. Now, as far as the London episode goes, this special episode goes, it won't be released anytime before the end of September. And the reason for that is I still may not be at 10,000 subscribers by the time September rolls around. That's one reason for it. The second reason is it's going to take me a long time to make it. So yeah, you know, on top of all the other stuff that I do on the regular, it's an extra thing. And so it's going to take me a bit of time to actually put it together. Now, as to when it actually comes out, like I said, it won't be any time before September. I've got 2 dates in mind. The first date is the last day of September, September the 30th. And the reason for that is all down to what's going to happen in October, because as I've told you before, there's going to be a mad October where everything's going to be mixed up. So it would be a nice feed into that October, wouldn't it? The other idea is to put it out on the 22nd of December, the day before the Christmas special. Again, I've not decided yet, but I will. So at some point, we will figure it out. We'll figure it all out. We've got to actually get there first. We're quite excited about this, aren't we, Nikki? Nikki's too busy in the stitching, I think. We're quite excited about this London trip. Nikki's been watching a lot of London-related videos from other YouTubers, picking out some pointers here and there, which we may or may not touch on. Obviously, we've already gone over the route, and I'm quite excited about the route and everything it's going to cover. It's going to be great. It really is. It's kind of a week off from the normal stuff because I haven't got anything else planned this week. So yeah, it's something new, something different, and we're just going to generally have a good time, I think, for a couple of days. So yeah, I'm excited about it. Right. Okay. To business. We've got a couple of things to do as regards the laptop. And the first thing, of course, is to give this thing away. The Derbyshire flag, which, as you remember, I put a video out saying, if you want to win this, signed by me, all you got to do is like, comment, and share on the video. So it's time to give it away. So let me just move the camera across to the laptop screen. And now I'll be able to see exactly what you guys have all been saying about me. As you can see, there's the screen there. That's the one I use regularly. Obviously, the other screen I do use too, but it's this one that gets most of the action, as it were. That's it. We're now in position. We'll just have a catch up on comments because I can see them now. Let's see. Dave Thackeray. Rumor is that Jackie Weaver is running today's meeting. Oh, if only. Yeah, you wait till I get to Hanforth. I'll find out once and for all if Jackie Weaver had the authority. Right. Okay. Richard asks, when's the Bradfield episode coming up? I'll be able to answer that question for you, Richard, in a short while, because I'm going to be reverting to my spreadsheet, and you'll see on there when it's coming out. But let's get to this flag. So we've got, here's the picker wheel. When it eventually, there we are. That picker wheel is on your screen now. Now there's 8 people on this wheel. More people did like and comment that video, but certain people didn't want to be involved in this draw. One of them is Alice, and I know you're here, Alice, because I can see you in the comments. You opted not to be in this draw. You thought it was better if someone from Derbyshire actually won this. Well, there are a couple of people in these 8 names which live in Derbyshire, so we'll see if that name comes out. If not, I'm pretty sure whoever it will be a worthy winner anyway. So, shall we spin the wheel? Shall we see who's going to win the Derbyshire flag? I think we should. Drum roll. 3, 2, 1. Spin. Oh, it's going to be... Oh, no! Would you believe it? Jade's won it again. Unbelievable. That's the 3rd thing of mine you've got your hands on now, Jade. That's amazing. This picker wheel must like you. I don't know why. But yeah, that now is apparently winging its way to you, the Derbyshire flag. So, yeah, I think I'm going to make sure I take you out of the next draw. Amazing. Amazing. Right, okay. That's that then. Blimey. I swear this wheel is not rigged. I promise you it's not rigged. But, you know, I'll tell you what, just to make sure, we'll spin it again. We'll spin it again just to make absolutely sure. You're joking me, aren't you? You are joking me. Hang on, 3rd time. This is unbelievable. It's going to land on her again, isn't it? Well, nearly. 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 Right. It's not rigged anyway, I promise. Now, while we've got the picker wheels out, we can get rid of that one now. I've got another wheel set up here. Now, what we're going to do in a moment is we're going to spin this. Now, this one's got the names of all the counties on it. All the counties of England, except for 6 of them. There are 6 that are not on this. The ones that aren't here are the City of London and the City of Bristol, because neither of them have got anything for me to film in them. Greater London is not on here because it's only got 1. And the other 3 are South Yorkshire, Nottinghamshire, and the East Riding. And the reason they're not on there is because this wheel will determine what happens in early October. And I'll show you what I mean. So here's my spreadsheet, which you may or may not have seen before. I'm just going to move the camera a little bit closer because it's hard to see. If I might zoom in. Hang on. Preparation is key, isn't it? All right, let's zoom in. Okay, there we go. You can see that a bit better now, a bit bigger writing. So this is my spreadsheet, and currently we are there, aren't we? The Waddingworth episode came out today, and so because of that, that is where we are there, June the 3rd. Okay. Now, what this does is, if you've seen this before, or if you haven't seen this before, should I say, is it tells you when things are coming out. So as you can see, tomorrow it's Wilsford. Next day it's Ravensdale Park. The colours are representations of the district. So Widmerpool on Thursday, Kirkby Everblow on Friday, Killam on Saturday, Thornton-le-Clay. Killam on Saturday, Thornton-le-Clay on Sunday. So it's pretty self-explanatory. It's basically a big calendar. Okay, I can go up and down this as much as I like, and you'll get the idea eventually if you don't. Now, there are gaps on this. As you can see here, for example, there's a gap just here where I've got the mouse here, because I haven't planned what's going to come after Heington and Washington in North Kesteven yet. And there's a gap here underneath Belchford in East Lindsey, because again, I haven't planned what's there. But the reason it's coloured like that is because I know that those two will be East Lindsey episodes. Okay, so this spreadsheet is very complicated. I will do a video about it at some point, because like I said in the run video, the making the runs video, it's the lifeblood that keeps this whole thing going. And I think it really does deserve its own sort of little bit in the spotlight, shall we say. Now, how does this link to the wheel I've just shown you? Well, as you can see, if I scroll across, you can see here's the running order for the rest of the East Riding. Here, look, you see we've got Killam this week, Nafton next week, Skirner once for the week after that, Driffield week after that, and then we're into these, which are currently not filmed. This is why the colour is different. If they're in yellow, it means they're filmed and ready to come out. If they're in this reddy orange colour, it means they're planned, but they're not yet filmed. And if they're in white, it means I haven't planned it yet. Okay, but the chances of me moving this column around and moving them to different places in the calendar is very, very remote, because as you know, I want the East Riding done pretty quick. And the last one, as you can see, is Beverley there. And when the East Riding is finished, I promised a bit ago that I would go back to Warwickshire. Is Catwoman Jones in the house tonight? Indeed. Indeed, Catwoman Jones is in the house. And you remember we did that awesome little game where we decided that I was going to Radford Semley. Now, I've put this in for October the 7th, but I've also earmarked the rest of that week and the week after for the other ones, which will come with it, if you like. So I shall start this run with Radford Semley and then obviously move on to other places around it. And it will basically, all the videos I do will come sort of out after it in these 2 weeks. Might not be exactly in a line, but, you know, we'll see. And so underneath it, we've currently got nothing. There's nothing there, but there soon will be. And that's where the wheel comes in. If I just go back to the wheel, there it is. We're going to spin this and decide what's going to come after that week in Warwickshire. Okay, so we're looking at sort of mid-October, October 21st onwards-ish, because this may, like I said, not be a line. It might not come out in a linear fashion. Okay, now, Nottinghamshire is not on this because that will be finished somewhere in this lot between October and December, right? It won't be done before it, but it will be finished in this. So there's no point having it there, if you know what I mean. And South Yorkshire is already done. And to answer Richard's question, Bradfield, there it is. We were there last week. And that is currently slated to come out on July the 21st, according to this calendar. Okay, so July the 21st, big episode. That's 70 minutes long. Well worth watching, let me tell you. Look at me blowing my own trumpet. Right. So we shall decide via this wheel where we're going to go. Now, I'm going to take a few counties out of this because there's no point going to Warwickshire 2 weeks in a row for a start. So we can eliminate that. Okay. So I'm just going to go down to the list here and find Warwickshire, which is there, and we'll take that out. Now, this is where you guys can have a bit of input because I want to take out at least another 10. So comment, please, if you would, a county, one solitary county that you don't want to come out of this wheel, and I'll eliminate it from the list at the bottom. And then whatever's left, we'll spin it, and that is the county we will go to. So you're not voting for a county that you want to see, you're voting for one you don't want to see. So chuck some at me, and we'll take some out. The floor is yours, people. Northumberland, says Mike. Northumberland. Right, let me just find that, sir, and we'll take that out. It should be near the top, actually, because I put these in sort of north to south order. Northumberland is gone. Cumbria, says Alice. Gone. So we're definitely not heading up to them again. Not yet, anyway. I do like Northumberland. I do like Cumbria as well. All that sort of northern area on the border with Scotland. I've always found it fascinating. Cheshire and Devon. Right. Okay. Cheshire. That goes. Devon. That goes. Cool. Isle of Wight, says Carol. Right. Okay. Isle of Wight goes. That saves me a ferry journey at least. Kent. Right. That's going. How many is that we've got rid of? 6 we've got rid of. So another 4. Anybody else who hasn't said one yet? I don't know whether there's even 10 people in here. Can't tell by looking on the laptop. Actually, it's easier on the phone.
Just X off the chat window and you'll see. You can always reopen it.
Kent's already gone, Sean. Feel free to pick another one. What? Click on this.
The X at the top.
Right. Manchester and Hampshire, they're going. Right. Hold on. Yada, yada, yada. That's going. Hampshire. That's going. Right. Cool. Buckinghamshire, says Carol. Right. Yeah. Alice says, if Jade's name comes up on this one, we're all going round to her house for a brew. Brilliant. Richard says Isle of Man. Isle of Man's not on the list, sir. It's not an English county. So I won't be going there anyway. We've been to the Isle of Man before, though. It's quite nice. We had a tour all the way around it. I hired a car. It was part of our honeymoon a few years ago, and hired a car from the Isle of Man airport and drove all the way around it to literally virtually every village on it. Norfolk, says Mike. Okay. Sean says Cornwall. Take Cornwall out. Right. Okay. Right. I think we've got enough now. I think that's 11 that's gone. That makes it, yeah, I think it's 11 that's gone. Yeah, I reckon. Now I'm going to take one out as well. Robin says take out Somerset. One sec. Robin says take out Somerset. Can't even find it. Where's Somerset? There it is. I'm going to take Lincolnshire out because I do a lot in Lincolnshire already. And if Lincolnshire were to come out in this, it would just be sort of, going back over old ground effectively. So I'm going to take that one out. Right, we'll leave it at that. So we've got 28 left on this wheel. 28. So let's see which one comes out, shall we? Might be one we've been to before. Might be a new one. But even if it is something we've been to before, it will be a new area, I can guarantee you. So let's spin the wheel. Quite excited about this. Okay, so it's one we've been to before, but we've only seen it in 3 episodes. It's West Sussex. So there'll be another trip down to the south coast of England some point in late September, early October. So now we can put that on here. So these 2 lines here, I'll earmark them for a trip to West Sussex. So what colour should we use for this? We'll use, the Chichester series was that sort of nice light blue, wasn't it? Not forced to go to Chichester again. So we'll use a greeny colour, I think. We'll use a light green. All right. So that's that decided. And I think what we'll do going forward is we'll do this every so often in a parish meeting to decide where I should go next, effectively. There will be times where I'll decide it myself because, as I said earlier, for example, Nottinghamshire is going to be finished somewhere in this lot, between now November and December. But there's not many to go in Nottinghamshire anyway, so that's not going to fill too many spaces. So that's not a problem. But I think going forward, that's a good way. Get you lot involved a bit more to decide where we're going. So yeah, West Sussex came out there, which means I'll be going down there at some point again. Lovely part of England, that. Don't know a lot about it, but I'm glad that came out, actually. I mean, there were some other ones that I was actually hoping for, but I'll keep them to myself for now. But yeah, brilliant. Thank you for that, people. Brilliant. Right, we're done with the wheels now, so we'll get rid of the wheel, and we will also get rid of the spreadsheet because I'm kind of done with that too. And I'll move the camera back up here so you can see my ugly mug again. So yeah, there we are. I swear down, the wheels are not fixed. Jade has won the Derbyshire flag. I swear it's not fixed. It's not a fix. I actually asked her as well before I came on tonight, do you actually want to be in this draw, seeing you've won 2 things previously? And the answer was yes, so I kind of had to put her in. Because, you know, everyone did the liking, sharing, and commenting. That's how you got into the draw in the first place. I will be doing another giveaway, another flag giveaway at some point. I don't actually have another flag at the moment. I haven't bought another one yet. The next one I do giveaway will be in the East Riding, I think. I'll buy one of them, and we will do the same thing with that. And another one, probably Leicestershire, although maybe Warwickshire, because people have been asking for that one. I can get my hands on that pretty easily, not a problem. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And that's it, as far as what I wanted to do on this meeting tonight. So the rest of this week's chat is down to you, as it were. So yeah. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open the chat box on my other laptop. I have 2 laptops these days. One's for editing, the other one's for writing scripts. I'll be able to see the comments better on this one. So if you just give me a second, I will fire it up, and then I can see what you guys are saying. I've just heard Hannah creeping away down the stairs in the background, probably coming to feed the cat. Have I not? Everybody knows you're coming down the stairs now, Hannah. Your secret's out. You're all right. Oh dear. So how are we then? Are we all right then this week? It's been a bit of a mad week actually with having to do Bradfield this week. It was an exhilarating episode. Let me tell you, it was one of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. And of course, it wasn't just me that went there. I went mob-handed. I was with both Nikki and Lauren. Hannah was supposed to come too, but that didn't happen. But you know, not a problem. We still had a decent enough trek around the place with just the 3 of us as opposed to 4. I think the thing about it, why it was so difficult, is just basically the sheer size. 143 square kilometers it's a big area. It's a massive area, and some of the places within it are not small. There are lots of small hamlets, but you know, most of it is a large place. Alice says, what well-known places are in West Sussex? Well, apart from Chichester, which is the area we were in last time, I'd have to have a look at the map because it's not a county I'm particularly hot with. So what I'm going to do, seeing as I've got the laptop in front of me, I will have a little look and see. That's the beauty of technology these days. You can find out pretty much anything at the touch of a button, can't you? It's not like a few years ago. I mean, I was born in the 80s, grew up in the 90s when the internet was in its infancy, and trust me, it certainly changed my life. That's all I'm going to say to that. So West Sussex. So I'm just going to fire the map up here. So we've got obviously Bognor Regis. That's close to Chichester. There's Littlehampton, Worthing, Haywards Heath, Burgess Hill, Horsham, Crawley, East Grinstead. That's sort of where it borders the southern bit of Surrey. Billingshurst, Southwater. I'm just looking at the sort of biggest urban areas here on the map. I'll probably miss a few places, but most of the sort of built up areas along the sea, along the English Channel, which makes sense because it's all seaside resorts down there, really, isn't it? I mean, Bognor and Worthing, Shoreham by Sea, they're all seaside resorts, and of course Brighton is too, but that's actually in East Sussex, although it's kind of right on the border. Shoreham by Sea has a border with Hove, which is right next to Brighton. It's kind of one continuous area. So yeah. But of course, most of the stuff along the sea is kind of an unparished area because it's such a big sort of urban area. So we're going to be more looking towards the middle of the county, effectively, and sort of the Billingshurst area, the sort of Horshams and the Crawleys, etc. I would say, but we'll see. We'll see what comes out. We'll see what comes out of this West Sussex trip, shall we? All right. Let's see. What else do we got here? How many cards did you use for the Bradfield episode? 1 is the answer. We didn't see very many parish notice boards, and the only one we actually walked past, because don't forget, most of the episode was done in the car, was in Worrell. So Worrell is the only place that's got one of my cards on its notice board. So I think Hannah's trying to do something with the cat here. 1 second. It's quite interesting. Hannah bought a little playpen. I don't even know how to describe it for the cat. In fact, yeah, I'm just about to. I'm going to turn my phone around and show you. If you look on the floor here, you can see it. There it is. It's kind of a little pen in which Angel can sit and basically do anything. Basically, it's designed for being in the garden, so the cat can sort of sit in there and not escape, if you know what I mean. But it hasn't actually found its way outside very often at the moment. And Hannah just tends to put her food in it. And Angel will go in there of her own accord, which is a good thing. You know, we don't have to force her to go in or anything like that. But why Hannah's obsessed with making Angel, you know, eat her food in there, I do not know. I think to be fair, I mean, I think we've pretty much convinced her now anyway, have we not? Anyway, right, okay. Do you blue tack your cards to the parish notice board? I often wonder, do they blow away? Well, I used to use blue tack, but then I ran out and I haven't bought any since. Most of the time, especially the old notice boards, you find you can actually slot the card like in between the wooden bit at the bottom so it stays there. Sometimes the newer ones with the sort of plastic front on them, they haven't got anywhere to put them. So what I tend to do is just find somewhere that's like around the board where I can just shove it under something to wedge it, if that makes sense. It doesn't necessarily have to be on the board itself. Just as long as it's in the vicinity of it and someone sees it, you know, they could move it and put it inside. I'm pretty sure some have blown away in the past. I guarantee it, because we all know what the weather's like. But most of the time, I am able to get it to stay on the board somehow. Pin boards are great because it means I can just get a pin and just pin it on there without having to worry about it blowing away. I have come across some weird boards in my time. Magnetized ones, they're interesting. There's a couple of them not so long ago. I can't remember where they were now. Trying to think. But the boards were magnetic, which the things were secured on them with these little tiny magnets. And so, you know, it's basically just like using pins, I suppose. So yeah, it's a fun thing. Trying to get stuff to attach to a board. Let's see. Roll on Skeg Vegas episode, says Richard. It's funny. Someone asked about Eastlands earlier today about what the last episode's going to be. They were saying that potentially Louth should be the last episode. I'm probably more likely to finish in Skegness, to be fair. Skegness is Lincolnshire's biggest, and so leaving it while the end is probably a sensible idea. There are some other big ones in East Lindsey as well. Don't get me wrong, Louth's not small. But I think Skegness would be a great way to end that series, actually. If I engineer it correctly, and this is a big if, Skegness may even be the last one I do in Lincolnshire as a whole. That's an idea that's literally popped into my head 5 seconds ago. But thinking about it, it would kind of make sense for it to be the last one. Because other than Lincoln, what's the first place people think of in Lincolnshire if they're not from the county? Skegness, because it's such a popular coastal resort. So I may, if I work it right, make Skegness Lincolnshire's last one, but we're talking years down the line for that. So that could easily change between now and whenever it is eventually released. So let's see. Mike says, shame so many boards are locked. Yes, they are. Yeah. Some are, some aren't. It just depends basically on whether people allow the residents, as it were, the locals, to actually pin their own notices on. Some do, some don't. Doesn't stop me, of course. Still find a way to put them on the board somehow. Dear. There was actually a place in Nottinghamshire somewhere where the board was locked and I couldn't obviously get it inside the board. I left it on the outside, but then I got a message from somebody saying that they'd moved it to the inside. So I must have done a good job of their particular slice of Nottinghamshire, shouldn't I? I can't remember where it was now, but yeah, that was quite nice actually. It was quite nice that someone has thought to put it on the inside, which is good. So let's see. Sean says, I've not found a TVI card yet on my photograph. I can't even read that word. What's that say? On my photography days around Lincolnshire. You will. You will. If you just see where I've been recently, just go to them places and you'll probably find a card of mine lingering around somewhere. I need to buy some more, actually, thinking about it. I'm not getting desperately towards the end of the supply, but it's I'm certainly thinking about it because every time I go to it, it's getting less and less and less. So I will probably have to buy some more at some point, which means digging through my emails to find the actual place I got them from because I can't remember the name of it. It was that long ago. So yeah. Let's see. Mike says, would have thought they'd be pleased to have a card. Yeah, I would too. Bit of self-promotion for your village, I suppose. What I'm doing a lot more of these days is if I see a post on some social media at some point somewhere that's talking about a certain place, I will link people to the video in question. There was one earlier, Loudham, in Newark and Sherwood. This estate agent was basically trying to sell the place to prospective home buyers. And so I just said, here's the link to my Loudham video. Feel free to use this to help you. So, if the chance arises at any point, then I do that, because not only is it a bit more exposure for me, which is a good thing, it also helps other people in whatever their mission in life is, I suppose. Because let's be honest, doing this is not just all about me and my sort of love for the countryside and everything that I show you. It's about creating, it's turned into effectively this big historical record of rural life and what it's like in the mid sort of 2020s and beyond, which in 100 years time, if YouTube is still a thing, it'll be important. It'll be a kind of an important record. You would have thought anyway. Like I said, if YouTube's even a thing, in a century or so's time. But if it is, then people living in that time, because we'll all be long gone, will be I'm sure, interested to know what it was like 100 years before. So there you go. It's kind of morphed into that, which I think is quite cool. It never began like that. I'll be honest with you. That wasn't the idea, but it's sort of become that, and I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Actually, I'm happy with it now. It's every place I go to has got something interesting I can talk about, even if it's the tiniest place. I always find something that I can latch onto, and I think as long as you've got that little bit of something which might interest somebody, you can just run with it from there. So, Wendy says, are you doing Eastleek? Yes, I am. I shall be doing Eastleek at some point. Haven't planned it yet because it's one of Rushcliffe's biggest, but I will be covering it at some point this year. It's a guarantee because it's part of Nottinghamshire, and as you know, I want Nottinghamshire done before this year is finished. So it will be done. I've only got 32 left to visit in Nottinghamshire now. You guys have got a few more than that to see because there are some that aren't out yet. But I've got 32 personally, which I've not yet been to. 24 are in Rushcliffe. There's 1 in Mansfield. There's 3 in Broxtowe, and the other 4 are in Gedling. And that's it. That's it, basically. 32 left. 32 left. Let's see. Richard says, I think the first episode you left a card was Great Houghton. It was Little Houghton. It was Little Houghton. If that ever comes up in a quiz question in 100 years' time, if I'm that famous by then, the answer is Little Houghton. Carol says, you'll be like the first black and white films that were made and the old newsreels. That's weird to think, isn't it? It's weird to think what life's going to be like in 100 years' time. I'm sure the people that lived in 1924, I was going back 200 years then, couldn't have imagined that life in 2024 would be what it is today. I'm sure that they had a different perspective on life back then. I don't know because I wasn't alive back then, but, it'll be the same in 100 years' time. People living in 2124 will probably look at 2024 and think, wow, how different was that? It's amazing, isn't it? Let's see. Alice says it's like people watching old films of miners and steam trains. Now in 100 years, they'll be watching me. Well, not just me, Alice. So anyway. Yeah, it's an interesting concept, isn't it, of what life's going to be like in the future. I don't think much about the future myself, to be fair. I always think about the present more than anything else. I think that's probably a side effect, if you like, of being totally wrapped up in what I do with this. But I don't think much about the future. I think if you think too far ahead, you can kind of lose yourself, can't you? If it sort of gets away from you a little bit. That's what I think anyway. It's too late at night to be philosophical. so we will not try. We will not try. Anyway, I think we've pretty much exhausted that, haven't we? We've got to it's an interesting conversation, but I think we've probably got to the sort of natural conclusion of that. And I think we're pretty much done with this meeting this week. So we'll leave it there, and we'll see each other again in a week's time, if you remember. At which point we'll have been to London, and we will have filmed the video, but not actually made the video yet. Like I said, it will take a long time to do it because there's so much to cover. It's going to be an epic episode. But it is for a good cause, I suppose. It's for a good reason. It's because the channel will, at the time it comes out, have at least 10,000 subscribers, which is crazy, absolutely amazing. I'm so thankful for it. I could never have imagined that the channel would get this popular, but it has. And it's all down to you. It's nothing to do with me. I just kept making the videos. That's all I did. So, okay. So yeah, we'll leave it there, and I'll see you all next week. Have a good one. See you later, people.